Hello and welcome to another edition of Droppin Bombs with me, your host, Corey Baumeister. As always, brought to you by the lovely folks over at StarCityGames.com, bringing you the best in trading card needs. All right, so we are playing something that is not, new to the world. We are playing Izzet Phoenix with a couple different choices from the standard Izzet Phoenixes. We got Thing in the Ice out of there. We're calling it Thing in the Garbage now. It is in the trash. Young Pyromancer is in the deck. Young Pyromancer and Brazen Bar are the new hotness of Izzet Phoenix. And let me tell you, I have been playing a ton of Izzet Phoenix. That's why I wanted to bring it to Droppin Bombs, because I know a lot of my audience is going to love this deck. It's insanely powerful. I'm not going to lie, I'm like 15-0 prior to this Droppin Bombs. I just have not lost. I'm hoping to continue that streak going forward. We have a ton of great games. You can fast forward to any of them with the links below, as well as head to the deck tech. If you want spoilers, though, don't go to the deck tech. I talked in depth about each card as well as changes I want to make, but I also talked about the games. So don't fast forward there if you want any spoilers, and if not, enjoy the games. We'll see you in round one. All right, everyone, welcome to round one here with Izzet Phoenix. We're on the play, and we have one heck of a powerful deck. I'm telling you, Izzet Phoenix is the real deal. When we switched out Thing in the Ice for Young Pyromancer, it made such a difference. All right, this hand is fine. Nothing insane or anything. You really want ways to chart a course, strategic planning, stuff like that on your early phases of the game, but this hand's fine. We're definitely not going to ship it back. All right, so starting with Young Pyromancer on 2 is usually really risky, but this is one matchup where we do it. Blue-white does not have many ways to deal with it effectively on the early turn, so we're definitely going to jam, and we're going to be quite happy to do so. So young, such a Pyromancer. Should be a tough card for them to deal with, to be honest. All right, now we can Lightning Axe to discard Phoenix. No real way to get it back anytime super soon, so not super high on that option, but just a great removal spell, discarding a card. Okay. Bant Spirit. Could just be Bant Company Spirit kind of thing. Okay. All right, now we're going to opt. Because if we were to get a 1-drop, we just do it here, so this is worth doing. No such luck, but a good magic card. So maybe we just want to take this, or we go for the higher upside. We're going to go for the higher upside because it's just okay right now. Treasure Cruise is a better magic card, so I think I'm okay with this. We're going to attack. There's the 1/1 Spirit that they could flash in. We would do, we would Lightning Axe it just to deal with it. All right, so we got to be aware of this Mausoleum Wanderer. Could be something we want to Lightning Axe just out of pure annoyance. More than likely, we're going to play something here. Now, they could have Spell Queller. We don't care too much about that. Says go. Okay, well, I kind of want to just Brazen Borrower this. They might Spell Queller it, but then we can get the Spell Queller pretty good. We're going to do this because we get a token. Petty Theft this. We're letting them know you can just counter this if you want. They chose no. Okay, great card right now. Now the question is, do we want to just attack and chart a course for value, which I think we do. And I don't want to attack with Young Pyromancer here. I just don't want to put it in danger. But any creature they do flash in, we can just Lightning Axe it. So maybe this is a time to put it in danger. I talked myself into it. With having the Lightning Axe backup, we're not that afraid. They, of course, have something. They flashed in, or they took 2 to play Hollowed Fountain here. Okay. I like just charting the course. Gonna do that. See if they want to Spell Queller this. We don't really care. We'll definitely Lightning Axe it. Not a big deal at all. Because now we get 2 triggers off this, which is kind of nice. All right. Lightning Axe. Discard a Arclight Phoenix. I used to be a pretty big hater on this deck, but I actually think Izzet Phoenix is one of the better decks right now. Like, definitely tier 1, if not the best deck. Really a big fan of these Izzet decks. Okay, so we could quicken as well. We may. More than likely, we're going to save this till next turn so we can do some flipping. Or not flipping, excuse me. Bring Arclight back from the graveyard. We just already have such an aggressive slant here that this is Thing in the Ice was not going to do the same. Like, we just already have 7 power, which Thing in the Ice would already do. But now it's threats that are so impossible to deal with. We're really not afraid of anything here. All right, we're going to start with a Quicken. Not really super relevant. Just here for the cantrip and maybe flipping Arclight. Okay, so we could Treasure Cruise, getting rid of 4 cards. It's not great. It's not great. You know, we have to get rid of... we won't be able to flip unless we get rid of Arclight Phoenix. So with that being the case, I kind of just want to play an Arclight Phoenix. Yeah, we're going to. We're going to be mana efficient. We're going to give up on casting the spells and just play a Phoenix. Not going to attack with Young Pyromancer. There's no real reason. We're not being pressured at all. So all of these, this. Yep, bring it. Bring it. They need like a Deccan Stone or something to deal with these tokens. Definitely don't care about that. Chump blocking one of our elementals. Sure. Okay, we'll pass it. I mean, they gotta take 2 and play company, I would assume, to have any chance at this, hitting like a deputy or something, but otherwise I have no reason why they'd play green here. It's gotta be a collected company deck. Okay. So, could start with Treasure Cruise for 4 mana, or we could just play this, 5, 6, 7. We can play this and attack, and they have to chump block with this. That seems completely reasonable to me. They just have to block. Then the Phoenix goes to the graveyard. They're already going to be dead to this army of tokens. Yeah, if they block Young Pyromancer, they take 8 and die. So they have 1 block. And that's to our creature that gets to keep coming back. Then they're going to untap and concede if they don't have a deputy or a collected company into a deputy. But if they do have that, we are a little bit afraid. A wee bit afraid. Okay. Could just attack with the elementals. Definitely didn't have the company. We were going to draw absolutely pure gasoline there, so. All right, so blue-white flyers. Gotta expect company. I like Fry. I take out Quicken quite often, which maybe means I just shouldn't have it. But I do love Izzet Charm for collected company as well. Like, they can't really play too coy with their collected companies. They kind of just got to cast it whenever we're tapped out. And that's not that big of a deal to us. So what else do we want to take out? Probably Brazen. Brazen Borrower is not that good. I could see some Mystical Disputes being okay. Countering Spell Quellers. I think it's better than Brazen Borrower. Brazen Borrower is not good against blue-white flash creatures, also creatures that are cheap. But everything else here I like. So we're gonna run this back. Maybe Narset. Narset doesn't seem great. Could see Magma Spray, also not insane. We're just gonna run it back. Running it back, my friends. Yeah, I love the dispute. Still counters collected company. Also, just 1 mana countering a spell queller is going to be super relevant. And then we're just going to run them over with value. Be able to kill their early stuff with Wild Slash. This is mostly going to be directed at Selfless Spirit. This hand is not great. Just because we have 2 lightning axes and no real good cards to discard, but still good enough to keep. Once again, this is another matchup where if we can resolve Young Peasy here, life will be easy. All right, Breeding Pool tapped. I think we're just gonna play Sulphur Falls, just so we can guarantee a Young Pyromancer next turn. I don't love that. That makes me afraid of what they could have. I just don't think there's a lot that counters Young Pyromancer from that deck, so we're just going to jam. Yeah. We had to not, there's just not much they can have. If there was any way that they had, like, you know, if that deck had syncopates or whatever, we would not just run this into that. All right, so we got the cruise to refill later. We're easy to attack here. Not afraid of anything since we have all this removal. And they should know that. They should know we wouldn't attack with this if we weren't prepared to answer whatever they do. So we're just going to fry this. I don't want to discard anything to Lightning Axe, so we're just going to be efficient. Fry, take that. Take 2. We'll be able to opt or wild slash something. Land collected company is something we're afraid of. Okay, tapped land. So we're going to be left with the option now, everyone, of you always got to ask yourself against these Spell Queller decks, am I okay with this card getting Spell Quellered? And right now I'm definitely okay with opt getting Spell Quellered because we can just axe. So we're definitely going to cast this. Another Treasure Cruise. A great card, but we don't really have, we want lands, we want other stuff. So we're not going to do that. Feels bad to put a cruise to the bottom. I almost never put a treasure cruise to the bottom because it's such a messed up Magic card. But now we're just going to say go. We're going to react. We have 4 powers, so this is a clock. They do not have all the time in the world to wait, and we do. Young Pyromancer gives you that ability to just say, okay, draw, go, draw, go, draw, go, until they're dead. So these types of matches tend to be pretty good. Wherever our removal is good, we tend to have a really good matchup. And when it's not good, we have a lot of sideboard counter spells to bring in to combat them. Yeah, we don't care. We're going to lose this much of our graveyard, which means Treasure Cruise will be a little difficult. But once again, we have the Wild Slash ready to go for this. We'll lose 2 cards in our graveyard, but we'll gain a 1/1, which is plenty fine. Didn't even want to sack it. Let's go. They might just shame concede. Yep. I sense the shame concede coming in. They weren't winning. I mean, like here, we could have went land Treasure Cruise, and they probably couldn't counter it. Draw 3, and get another token. I think we'd annihilate these blue-white style decks where Young Pyromancer can be cast on turn 2. Anytime you can cast Pyromancer on turn 2 and you don't really have a fear of it dying, aka Fatal Push, Wild Slash. So whenever it's not black or red, it's pretty easy that it's going to be a very, very, very effective threat. And that's what happened this round. So, all right, we're dominating with Izzet Phoenix so far. Stay tuned for round 2. We'll see if we keep it going. All right, everyone, welcome to round 2 with Izzet Phoenix here in Pioneer. We're on the draw, but this hand is great. We're going to keep this. We got a nice turn 1 if we need to kill something. We have a great turn 2 as well as a way to Izzet Charm away our Phoenix later on. Pretty good. Okay, so Castle Vantress starting off. Usually something we shouldn't be afraid of. But it could be like a Spirits deck, and with that being the case, we'd want to take 2. And if it is a control or a combo matchup, it doesn't matter if we take 2, because our life total doesn't matter that much, so we're going to take 2 regardless. Blue-white control. Blue-white control, not our favorite matchup, so we're just going to say go, and then we're going to Izzet Charm. Yeah, this matchup scares me. Drawing a card, do we want to just counter this? Probably not. Do we want to cast this now? I think so. Yeah. So we're going to draw 2, discard 2. A Charm Battle, 1. Wild Slash isn't great, except for the fact that it costs 1. But I don't think that's good enough to want to keep it. We're going to have to really play to our flash elements here to hope to win this. I'm going to go land, go again. Might just play Brazen Borrower. We might Izzet Charm again. Definitely going to be a tough match. Now the question is Brazen Borrower or Izzet Charm? I think Izzet Charm because you really don't want to counter that anyways. And we still have a card we want to discard, so. 1, 2. Okay. Now 2 Phoenixes, our whole goal is to just return them. So here I think we just want to say go again. We are going to just Brazen Borrower and then start casting spells. Kind of put them off guard a little bit or make them not use their mana on that turn. Okay, so now we're going to play Brazen. This might be a threat they actually want to counter. Not, I mean, we'll just start jamming with this. Okay, all we need is a land from one of these strategic plannings. So I think this is worth it at this point. So we're going to strategically plan. Canal is not enough, but an opt is. So, but what about a treasure cruise? If we get a treasure cruise here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we can just cruise. So we might as well get a cruise. I don't see why not. Refuel a little bit. So let's cruise first, because if they do have sensor, it feels bad. 2 arc lights left in the yard. They're gonna counter this more than likely. Wow, okay. We will opt. Now we kind of just want to hit a land drop. Yeah, wow, great play on our part there. Not to toot our own horn or anything, but dodging those sensors. And now we're coming in for 9, and we can likely just do this again next turn. So let's go. The birds are coming. Pretty good to get rid of one that way. Pretty hard for us to, interact with that. This looks like a supreme verdict. Sure. We're going to try to do it again. Not a good draw there. Now we could go Young Pyromancer here and try to threaten stuff that way, because we're not guaranteed. Well, let's think. Strategic planning puts 3 cards in the yard, and Wild Slash does as well. Okay, we actually are guaranteed it. We kind of want to land here, though, to avoid censor. Wow, they just have 6'd. Okay, so now we have to 4, 5, 6. We have to shock. And now cruise. Okay. Now do we want to cast anything? Probably not, so we might as well go canal. Bring the bird. Only 1 though, so not as great, but we got a full grip now, and we've kind of attritioned our opponent out a little bit. They still have 4 cards, so they got plenty going on, but we are quite ahead. Quite ahead indeed. Cycle that sensor. Let's go. Okay. So now we're just going to attack, or could go Young Pyro and then we're just gonna attack. Now what we don't want to happen is another seal away, but we actually might try to do something about it if that were to be the case. Okay. So now we're gonna go with Young Peasy here. It's probably gonna get an absorb. Wow, okay. Now we're gonna go with a Chart a Course. And now, do we want to play strategic planning? They only have 1 sensor left in the deck. I'm okay with this getting 4th censored if they have it. We could take our Brazen Borrower. That seems pretty good. All right, well, we've had 7 cards at the end of each turn while we keep progressing our board and getting them closer to the lethal, which is just insane. So what is this? Dig, okay. That should yield them some answers for sure. But step 1, they have to Supreme Verdict, I'm pretty sure. We do have lethal on board, plus a slew of stuff to do in a hand. Looks like here comes another one. Can't do anything about it to fizzle. Okay, this looks to be a instant speed Wrath, which does suck, don't get me wrong. That is pretty good. I say we just attack, force them to cast their Wrath, and then do stuff. Attack everything at them. Settle, huh? Yeah, we can't do anything about it with Teferi. Get a lot of lands, though. Okay. And now what to do? I kind of want to Treasure Cruise while they're tapped out. So we can Treasure Cruise for 2, play Sulfur Falls, and then Brazen Borrower plus play, or Petty Theft plus Brazen Borrower on the Teferi. It's not great, but I think it's okay. While they're tapped out, we might as well resolve our best spell. That's pretty vulnerable to a counter spell. Okay, so I guess we do have to pay 1 more. I think that's okay. Okay, Young Pyro I really like. Young Pyro. And then I kind of want to play something so I don't have to discard, but also these Lightning Axes don't really do anything. So I could be content playing Chart a Course as well. This is close. We have so many Lightning Axes we don't care about. I think for that reason, we just want to Chart a Course. We can discard. Now the real question is, do we want to discard the Axes or the Phoenixes? Discarding 2 Phoenixes here seems pretty good. We're definitely gonna cast 3 spells next turn. All right. Couple Phoenixes to the yard. We are running out of cards in our library, which does happen with this deck sometimes. So we'll see what we can do here. All right. Our opponent's doing some stuff as well. Now we just have to be worried about another Settle the Wreckage. They normally only play one. So, and we can Brazen Borrower to bounce this if they leave up only 5 mana or less. Approach the Second Sun. Wow. 9, 10. We only have 10 damage, it looks like. Okay, that could be bad. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I'm a little afraid of that one. Okay. So, I think we just have to do some bouncing and just hope for the best. The other Phoenix is exiled, right? Yeah, the other Phoenix is an exile, so we can't hope for that one. 9, 10, and just dealing 2 damage is not good enough, so... All right, well, we're going to bounce this. We are going to bounce this. We are going to chart a course. Oh, wow, that could have been good. We are going to take 2. And what? That was 3 spells, right? Now we'll bring the birds. And we'll say go. Now we can counter unless they pay 4. 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, that just another approach does not get it done here. Blue-white approach control. That's interesting. I would think that's got to be a better matchup than us. Than like Gearhulk control. Just like Settle and Gearhulk is kind of the most annoying thing, but whatever. 2 Izzet Charms here should be pretty good. As well as we can play 2 Brazen Borrowers at instant speed. This card is just amazing. I saw a lot of lists play 1 or 2. I went up to 3. I think the card is insane. I don't really like cards like Crackling Drake. So I just really wanted to overload on Brazen Borrower because not only is it a spell that we need that deals with some hard to deal with threats, you know, bouncing Scarab God, bouncing Glory Bringers, you know, bouncing these really good magic cards for a low rate, but it can also just be something you play at your end step, baiting out a counter spell, and then they counter it, and then you go Young Pyromancer, spell, you know, attack with Phoenixes, and it's really bad for them. Well, I think we have to deal with this now. They played a land, so we're going to counter unless they pay 2. They did play a land, right? Yeah, okay. Alright, so counter spells and Narset coming in. I like Saheeli as well. Fry you think about, but I don't think it's good enough. Now the question is, I definitely don't like Wild Slashes. They're all heinous. Now, Lightning Axe is definitely a couple. They could bring in Lyra, and which makes me want to have at least 3 answers. It could just be 3 Brazen Borrowers as my answer. We are bringing in Disputes to counter it as well. They could have Rest in Peace though, which makes me want to trim on these. I want to trim 1 Cruise. Izzet Charm is just okay. We're going to go like this. 2 Axe, 3 Brazen Borrowers, and all these blue cards to interact. We're not as much as an Arclight Phoenix deck now, but I think that's okay. All right. Now we have to make sure Teferi doesn't resolve because Teferi does actually mess us up now that we're being really reactive. Our hand's good though. We're not going to be able to chart on 2. Anything we're going to want to counter on this, whatever. We're going to do it just in case. I don't think there's anything we would Mystical Dispute, but all right. We could Strategic Planning, but I'm really afraid of Teferi. So we're not going to do that. We'll just go another Canal and say go. Cool with an Octarino. We are likely just going to be playing a Strategic Planning or something this turn. Ooh, I kind of like Chart a Course now. Since we have a great thing we want to discard, we'll chart. Boom. Now we'll say go. And now next turn, we're probably going to play one of these Planeswalkers. Azuri's Charm is quite heinous against us. Teferi? Ooh, Rest in Peace does get us here pretty well. That's okay. We'll just have to go with Plan B, which is either Saheeli tokens or Narset here. I don't know which one's better. One of them's going to resolve, though. So whichever one we really want to resolve is what we should be casting here. And I think Saheeli is more important. And then we can do Narset next turn. We're going to take 2. It's better to get this down first before we cast all our spells. All right. So now we'll say go. They snuck that rest in peace in there quite well, I have to say. Play it to fairy. Okay. All right. So now I think it's going to be a ooh. Could just be a Brazen Borrower turn here. Yeah, I don't really want to play into anything this turn. I'll let them do something. I'm probably just going to petty theft that rest in peace. Not that we necessarily care, but it's just an excuse to play petty thief. We get a token. Yeah, sure. Cycle your Azuri's Charms all day. We just play defense. There's no rush against blue-white control. We'll take our time. So they have 5 cards, which means they have 5 non-lands. All right, and then here we go. We're going to petty theft. Get a token. I don't know how much we actually care to fight over this, but we might. Do we care to play a Brazen Borrower? I don't think so. What if they cast out our Saheeli? I don't want that to happen. They're stuck on lands. We're not going to try to put ourselves in a bad position yet. We're just dominating this game. This game feels like cheating with how we pivoted. I mean, people bring in Rest in Peace, and I'm just not that afraid of the card. Our deck now just plays at flash territory. We're going to let this resolve again. It does nothing right now. We're going to petty theft it again. Why not? All right. Now, since they don't have cast out available, we are actually probably going to play one of these. So, petty theft. Brazen Borrower showing its chops here. We're going to play one. Probably absorb this or something. Nothing we care about. Yeah, sure. There's our Lightning Axe for Lyra in case they play it. Not super scared, of course, but... we are going to get Narset down where they're tapped out, though. All right. Oh, I think we're cool with an opt. Now, do we want to do anything else? No, not really. We'll just say go. To fairy. That's something we're going to fight over. Dispute. Yep. Countered that. Now there's a point where do we care about this? And I still think no. Not that big of a deal. We're not trying to just Arclight Phoenix in this game. We are just really trying to win with our power of our Planeswalkers here. Treasure Cruise. Yeah, that's not a good one. All right. Activate this. That's unfortunate. All right, so now we are going to strategically plan. Arclight Phoenix could just go to the dome here, which isn't bad, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we just want to strategically plan. We're not going to do that this turn. We're just going to get in there. Now, it's getting to the point where they're going to have to Supreme Verdict here pretty soon just to clean up the value that Saheeli's brought. So this brings to the question, do I even want a Brazen Borrower? But let's see. This is 5 damage. I don't mind it. So if we put this in play, this is 6, 9. That's a 2-turn clock. Otherwise, it's 6, 12. Not a 2-turn clock. But I don't really want them to use their mana this turn, nor do I want to fight over this Brazen Borrower, so we're just going to untap. I don't think we're going to do anything until they do something. I don't even want to cast Young Pyromancer. We're just going to say go. See what they have to do. Now, one thing I don't want to see is Gear Hulk. Okay. I think we're going to counter this. Okay. Now, they just have to Supreme Verdict. Real shortly. Nope, they don't have it. So 6, 7... We couldn't go for lethal here. Could have absorb or something, which feels bad, but 6, 7. We could make it 8. Nah. Doesn't present lethal. We're going to strategically plan. We're going to do it again. I just want to find a counter spell. Arclight Phoenix is pretty good. Now, this could just be a... settle. We'll take 7 lands, or however many we have. Not going to fight over that. I guess we only have 1, but... All right. Well, now we will... We do still have lethal next turn. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we have 10 damage coming back. That could be a problem. We got to let that resolve. All right, we'll play this. Now I do not think we have lethal. Okay, that was good. Thank God. Now... 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8. We could Treasure Cruise and hope to get a land. It's a little risky. I think I like just arc lighting, turning one of these into a Phoenix, take 10. All right. And hope that they just go for another approach, but pretty likely chance they have a Supreme Verdict now or something else. I like taking 2 here. 6, 7, 8. All right, we are going to copy this. What is this? Rev for 2. 9. Sure. And that's game! Round your bases. Wow, I thought this was going to be a really bad matchup, but we kind of just worked our opponent there. Like, I don't think blue-white control is actually a good deck, to be honest. I just think it's way too easily exploitable. I showed this and expressed this on Versus Live earlier last week. I just don't think you can really do it. I mean, I think blue-white control beats players that don't necessarily know exactly how to attack it, but players that are really well-equipped and ready to attack the deck, it's not that hard to beat, in my opinion. And this should be a bad matchup, but we just absolutely worked our opponent here. I think Saheeli plus Narset are just extremely powerful, and as well as just backing up with counterspells. Seems like a very easy way to beat this deck. I've never lost to a Rest in Peace when you pivot like that. We're definitely not going to start that streak today. So, all right, stay tuned for our third and final round. Let's get that 3-0 with a very powerful Izzet Phoenix deck. See you there. All right, welcome to our third and final round here with Izzet Phoenix. Dang, is this good. I am telling you, I played a league preparing for this Droppin Baums just to make sure I knew how to play this deck properly, even though I played a ton of Izzet Phoenix in my day. I went 5-0 and 10-1 in games very easily. And I'm 2-0, 4-0 in games, and it feels like the best deck to me. And this is coming from someone who loves Izzet Emerge so much. Loved the 4-color energy shell that I played last week. And, you know, I just think this deck is the best right now. Young Pyromancer has just given me new hope into this Izzet Phoenix archetype when I didn't really necessarily have a ton of faith with Thing in the Ice. I think Thing in the Ice is where it belongs right now, being Thing in the garbage. And that's where it should be. But Young Peasy, keeping it easy for us so far. So, all right, let's go first. Speaking of... All right, we're going to keep. If this is a matchup where Young Pyromancer is going to live, you know, we're going to jam this on 2 and then gain the value. But if we see a red source or a black source on turn 1, we're going to be patient with it. So we'll see here. All right, our opponent is down to 6. We are going to start with a mountain. Give them the effect that maybe we'll kill their elf if maybe they won't play. I mean, highly doubt it, but okay. Red, white. Okay, well, this is scary. This scares me a lot because this is going to come with some heavy hitters, but this could be red, white, like vehicles kind of thing. Kind of like a Mardu vehicles, and then they don't have a lot of removal on 2. They just have like Heart of Kirin or whatever. And I think I kind of have to bank on that because this easily could be a bad matchup. So we're just going to jam. We're just going to jam. If we see like Shock, this obviously feels bad. And I think we made the wrong decision. But this is pretty good too. So this is going to be a red-white feather deck. We're going to take it because of the value it's going to bring. All right, we need to stop drawing lands. I would take a Shock here. We did get it. I think we're going to do that and just deal with this now. Okay, the value has been got. Now we're kind of on a hunt for a treasure cruise. This is going to be hunting for a treasure cruise because we'll have exactly enough to just exile our graveyard as well as play a 1-drop. So what is this? They took 2 feather. Okay, feather's bad. So we want lightning axe. Lightning axe will do as well. Come on, stop drawing lands. All right, lightning axe or treasure cruise. I don't know which one I prefer. I prefer Treasure Cruise into Lightning Axe. All right, we're aiming for the ceiling here. We'll get this. All right, we have 7 cards exactly, so got to exile all of them. Now we got 3 looks at a Lightning Axe. Otherwise, we could be in trouble. But, hey, that was great. Why? Oh my god, this is... Look at our hand. This is so unlucky. I guess this is what it takes for us to lose with Izzet Phoenix. Unreal. Your turn. Your turn. Okay. I see ya. I see ya. Just 10 lands in our hand, plus the ones we exiled. Just 11 lands. All right, we're going to lose. We're going to lose this one. But this is just pure comic value for what we just drew here. We'll take it. We'll take it. Kill us. Yeah, you can't let Feather live. Feather will end you real quick. Wow. All right, so we got to start with like an Izzet Charm. Since we have plenty to discard. Wow. Yeah, that won't do it. Let's just soak this. Let's soak this battlefield in for a little bit before I concede. Okay, that's enough. That was unreal. We'll reveal our hand. Oh, I hit the wrong button. That was pretty unreal. So Mizium Mortar is going to be good. Fry is also going to be good. Even Magma Spray. I just really want to... So you kind of pivot into this role where you just try to kill everything and then gain value with Treasure Cruise. And I think this is a great plan. So Izzet Charm is okay, but not great. Quicken. We almost always take that card out. Now we only need to take out one more card. A definite case for Brazen Borrower. I like taking that out. Now it's just, do we want to keep in all of our Magma Spray effects? Because sometimes they can be really bad. But they're really needed on turn one. I like it. Let's keep it this way. Let's hope for a better draw. That was insane. That was absolutely insane. All right, well, experiencing a little bit of variance here. This hand's fine. We're going to get rid of one of these lightning axes. We just don't have the amount of cards to be able to really consider keeping 2 lightning axes. If we had a bunch of Arclight Phoenixes to discard, sure, you know, but Strategic Planning is quietly one of the best cards in this deck because of how it treats our actual best card in the deck. All right, our opponent mulliganed a little bit more. We can stop being so cynical, I guess. Our opponent did just actually mulligan into Oblivion. But they have a very aggressive, fast deck that doesn't need a ton of cards. So this should still be a good game. All right, let's get this going. We'd love to just take another Strategic Planning. I kind of just want to get a land. We already have 2 pieces of removal. Yeah, we're just going to take the land. We just want to kill things and Treasure Cruise on turn 4 more than likely. Exiling all our graveyard, but that's fine. Didn't play anything. Okay. Not bad. So now if they go Feather, we get to go Fry. And then just, and then Treasure Cruise. So we really want them to play literally anything. They did not. So what we can do here is just aim Wild Slash upstairs and then cruise. Actually, that's free. That is free. That puts 3, that's actually nets us a mana. So we're going to do that. We're going to start with this. I think I want to get Young Peasy. And now, since it does net us 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we can Treasure Cruise plus leave that Arclight Phoenix in the yard, which is all we want to do. And now, you know, they might be waiting to set up a draw in which they can go Feather with God's Willing, which is great. You know, that's a good plan against us, but we do have that to deal with. And now next turn, we can actually start getting a good battlefield going with Young Pyromancer, 3 spells, and Arclight next turn. Nice, and they're doing nothing, so we kind of want to land here. We're still going to go for it, but we do need a land. We do definitely need a land to even remotely do this. Well, okay, we're still going to Young Pyromancer here and opt. We don't necessarily need a land now, so we're just going to take a good magic card. We can't really bring back Arclight right now, so I kind of want to still just bottom this. If we draw a land, fine, but yeah, I just wanted to bottom this because we don't need a land right now. And next turn we can chart a course by drawing 2 cards after we attack. And then kind of refuel after this. We're under no pressure. We're just going to soak in all the value of all our cards here. Well, our opponent does absolutely nothing. All right. So now we might try to flip, depending on what we draw. Like, we have Charter Course, Wild Slash, and then the rest of the cards kill something. So we actually do not want to try to force the action right now. We're just going to Charter Course using as a 2-mana divination. Just going to keep digging to treasure cruises. That's really all this type of style of game is. You can do you. We're just going to keep drawing magic cards. Now we got a Brazen Borrower. This is perfect. We're just going to say go. Play Brazen if we need. All right. They are just doing absolutely nothing. I think we just jam Brazen Borrower here. This is a 2-turn clock then. Yep, 2-turn clock with a shock. No way to really flip here, which is completely fine. We're just in complete dominance. This game should be over quite shortly. Say go. We have 1,000 removal spells. Your turn. Can they do it? Can they deal the full 20? I doubt it. I like the get 4 damage in though. Be like, I did not deal you damage. All right, game 3. For the 3-0. I want it. I want it. All right. On the draw, I could see Izzet Charms coming in for Brazen Borrower. Tempo plays on the draw are not as good. Plain and simple. Things that's good against. Izzet Charm's good against just like 10th Street Legionnaire, 10th District Legionnaire, just onto attack. You know, we can just go Izzet Charm, deal with it. That's fine. I don't think it's good enough to really stress about it because we do have all these ways to deal too. So we're just going to resubmit. I like this. All right, let's go. I'm going to keep. I am going to keep. It's a little risky, but we have a way to deal with Feather. We have a way to deal with their 1-drop. We have a way to find our second land. We have our long distance card and a Phoenix if maybe we get something later on. We're going to keep. It's a little risky, but the only thing that's bad about this hand is that this is a pain land. Otherwise, I think this hand is just perfectly fine, you know? All right, they mold again. Unfortunate for them. But if they play a threat, we'll kill it. If they play a threat, we'll kill it. That's just how our game plan's going to be. Yeah, we're going to spray that. Even if we don't draw a land, we can opt the next turn to draw a land. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Now we just have it all. Boom, your turn. Boros Feather is a deck that just needs a threat. They need to untap with a threat and have mana available to protect it. Otherwise, it's really rough for them. Ooh. Yes, we love this. That they did this now. Now we just get to kill it again. Sure, take 5. No big deal. We are going to start with an opt, though. If we hit a we still are digging for land. I was going to say, if we hit a non-pain land, we're definitely going to use this. I still think we're actually going to put this into play untapped. So let's think about this. Are we going to have a land untapped next turn? Probably. Maybe not. Yeah, let's protect our damage. We might not actually do this. We might be spewing 1 damage here. But we'll see. All right, now we will strategically plan. Get Young Peasy. Go like this. Say go. Now we'll be able to... Yeah, we can Young Pyromancer, take 2, and Treasure Cruise next turn. Really solid turn. I think that's what we're going to be doing. We'll have to take 2, which I don't love, but we're doing all right. All right. All right. Young Pyromancer. We'll get a token off this and get to draw 3 cards. Treasure Cruise has just been unbelievable. I think Treasure Cruise is the next card on its way out, to be honest. It feels like just after playing this for 2 leagues and playing it on stream and all that, I just feel like this is the next card that's like this deck is going to have to get nerfed, I think. I just think it's unreal powerful. Sure. Okay, we want some ways to discard our Phoenixes. Maybe we just start jamming them. I don't think so because we can just Brazen Borrower. and discard to that. We're just gonna jam. Say go. Just 7 cards in hand, no big deal. All right. We're just gonna go for throat now. Brazen. 2 to the dome. 2, this represents 3 because we get a token. So 5, 6, 7. Can make it 10 with this. And then we just say, deal with it. I like it. Here we go. Well, the first game we kind of got run over. I mean, our draw was heinous, but... Okay, I was like, oh no, maybe we should have left a token back. Was that in our main phase? Or their main phase? So not scrying. Double strike, nice. This deck's busted. This deck is absolutely busted. I've played 8 total rounds with this and I've lost 2 games. So this is, you know, I mean, this is the... let's just save all the evaluations for the deck tech. We'll talk about why I chose all these cards, what changes I want to make. It's hard to want changes after doing this well. So, I mean, I feel like you really need to lose to be able to consider wanting to do changes. I have one change in mind, and it's not anything super huge. So let's just go to the deck tech right now and we'll talk about that one change I want to do, as well as discuss the individual choices that were originally made by someone who top aided or won a PTQ, made small changes, but this deck is the real deal. Stay tuned to the deck tech. We'll keep chatting about it. All right, and welcome to the deck tech here with Izzet Phoenix. That might have been one of the easiest 3-0s I've had on Dropping Bombs history. That felt so good. This deck is able to pivot in such a way where you can be this proactive Arclight Young Pyromancer deck. You can be a reactive deck where you just want to kill everything and then play Treasure Cruise. Or you can, you know, just try to play this proactive deck that backs yourself up with counter spells if you're playing up against certain matchups where the counter spells are good. It really feels like it does it all. Lightning Axe is a card that just kills everything right now. Every single creature that you need to deal with besides, like, you know, Elder Deep Fiend. Other than that, it just kills everything. And this is the first deck where you actually want to discard cards or are completely fine with discarding cards. Let's talk about the choices here. We have 20 lands, 4 Steam Vents, 4 Canals. Right now, only 3 Sulphur Falls and 3 Shivan Reefs. I don't know exactly why to have only 3 Sulphur Falls and 3 Shivan Reefs. It should probably just be 4 Sulphur Falls and 2 Shivan Reefs. But this is acceptable. You don't want to have your lands entering tapped. So I understand it, but so far I think this mana base is fine. You want an even split of everything, and you have plenty of duels to facilitate it. We'll get to the 1-drops. We have 4 Opt, a must include in any Izzet Phoenix deck. 4 Wild Slash, Shock. You know, I mean, Shock has always been great. Opt, Shock have been the core of these decks because not only are they just great spells on their own, they really facilitate bringing Arclight Phoenixes back as soon as turn 3. Then we have cards that are a little bit more off the wall as far as traditional Izzet builds. Quicken, it's not great. It's really not great, but I do like just having another way to bring Arclight back. It's just a 1-mana cycle. I could take it or leave it. You know, Quicken has won me games just where I just needed one more 1-mana spell to bring back 2 Arclights. Whoever ran the numbers on this originally, I copied the original list from someone who won a PTQ. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting your name right now. But you know, congrats to you for creating a great shell. I made a few changes. One thing I could see changing is this to a Brazen Borrower. Just play 4 Brazen Borrower. Brazen Borrower kind of does it all. I've been a huge fan. I just think the card's unbelievably good right now. But I also think 4 might be excessive. So I kind of think Quicken is just, it's good. What other 1-mana or 1-of spell do we really want to have? Then we got 4 Lightning Axes. Lightning Axe just kills everything in the format, and you don't mind discarding because not only are you discarding Arclight Phoenix to be able to bring it back later, but you're also just discarding another card where you can bring Treasure Cruise. So let's say, you know, you have 4 cards in your graveyard. You have 3 mana untapped. you can go Lightning Axe, discard a card, and now you can Treasure Cruise. So it's kind of like cheating on mana when you have Treasure Cruises, which can be a very big deal. Speaking of cheating on mana for Treasure Cruise, Strategic Planning is one of those cards that makes Treasure Cruise one mana cheaper on its own, you know, because you're putting 3 cards into the graveyard, you're putting 1 into your hand, 3 into the graveyard to help with Cruise. I'm going to keep bringing up Treasure Cruise because Treasure Cruise is the best card in the deck. And if there's any card that deserves ban talk, which I do hate, first of all, I mean, we shouldn't be constantly evolving and, you know, talking about which card should be banned next. We should build decks to beat the decks instead of just ban everything until your deck's good or until things seem fair. I don't like that, but Treasure Cruise has felt that good that I could see that card getting banned. You know, I wouldn't be shocked. All right, then we'll talk about Charter Course. Charter Course is a great split card. It's either 2 mana, draw 2 cards, discard Arclight Phoenix early on in the game, or it's wait till you can attack with something and then it's 2 mana Divination. Great on both sides of the card there. Charter Course is amazing. Anybody who thinks to cut any of those from this deck is crazy, respectfully. And then we got for Izzet Charm. I have always kind of had a love-hate relationship with Izzet Charm, but lately it's just been so impressive because, once again, if you have some Arclight Phoenixes in your hand, you know, being able to draw 2, you have a free discard where you actually want these cards into your graveyard. It's basically just 2 mana, draw 2, help out your graveyard. Excellent. But, once again, 2 mana, make Treasure Cruise cheaper on value. Like, you get to play Izzet Charm, discard 2 cards, and the Izzet Charm goes to the graveyard. So 2 mana translates into 3 mana into a Treasure Cruise. So if you look at this, Lightning Axe helps Treasure Cruise, Strategic Planning helps it, and Izzet Charm helps it. And when I mean helps it, it makes it cheaper by playing this card. So your whole deck is working to make Treasure Cruise awesome, as well as bring back Phoenixes. And we haven't even got to talk about our new threat. Young Pyromancer is another amazing addition. Getting Thing in the Ice out of here. Everyone was so used to just Thing in the Ice being the way that you have to approach these Izzet Phoenix decks. Without Faithless Looting and Metamorphose, Thing in the Ice is not what it is supposed to be. And I actually don't think it's a good Magic card. But Young Pyromancer is amazing. It allows you to go wide. It allows you to play Young Pyromancer on turn 3, have an opt up. They go to kill it. You get to opt, put a creature into play, and now next turn you get to attack, and now your Charter Courses are unlocked. That's one of many things to take away from Young Pyromancer, as well as just the card winning the game on the spot by itself against certain decks like Blue-White or for example, our Banned Company list that we played round 1, we just played it on turn 2, 2 games in a row, and it just won the game. All we did is just kill things around it and protect it, and it just straight up wins. 3 Brazen Borrower, our new Throne of Eldraine edition. This card is awesome. You know, it is a split card in the actual sense where you have 2 options. Bouncing one of your hard to deal with threats, as well as being able to play just a very good effective creature on turn 3. The thing I love about Brazen Borrower here is you can keep this card in instead of having to keep in like Lightning Axe against Blue-White Control, for instance, where they have Lyra, where normally you're like, oh, I have to keep this bad card in just because of this one specific card. Now you get to keep in an already good card, but that also deals with a lot of hard to deal with threats. Kalitas, Scarab God, Glorybringer, Lyra. Plenty of examples where this card is just good. We can play a tempo deck, and that's one of the great things. Arclight Phoenix, we talked about a lot. We are still a Phoenix deck. You know, discarding these, being able to bring them back. Arclight Phoenix by itself beats decks that are trying to answer our threats on a 1-for-1 basis. So any kind of like Golgari-based decks, red-black, mid-range, anything that's trying to say, hey, I have this card that kills that creature, Arclight Phoenix is going to shine. I don't even have to say anything about this. It's unbelievable. It's the best card in the deck. Every card is built around this card. It is just disgusting. All right, so let's get to the sideboard here. Negates and Mystical Disputes come in against our control matchups. plain and simple, we have a lot of dead cards like Wild Slash, Lightning Axe, Izzet Charm. You really want to take all those cards out and bring in Disputes, Negates, Narsets, and Saheeli's. We even got to see it against against Azorius Control round 2, where they went to just rest in peace us, but we pivoted and brought in Saheeli's. We didn't care. We even trimmed some Treasure Cruise because we knew that's what they were going to do, and we just didn't care. It was essentially a dead card. It made our life a little bit more inconvenient, but we slowly beat them with Young Pyromancer and Saheeli. Narset, pretty good against Control. Also good against like Blue-Red Emerge. Great against Phoenix. If Phoenix becomes more popular, we're just going to play more Narsets, and you just never take that card down. So I could see adding another Narset here. And before I get talking to too much about the sideboard, I did say I wanted to make one change, and the only one I'm remotely considering is turning Quicken into the 4th Borrower, but I'm not even sure about it, like I said. So that is the one change I was talking about in round 3. All right, and then we'll talk about our removal here. Mizium Mortars, Fry, Magma Spray, all removal spells that we bring in certain corner case situations. Now, is having a 2-2-2 split correct? Probably not. But what it screams out to me is we don't know where the metagame is going. So we want to have cards that are prepared for kind of the wide variety. Now, if a certain aggressive deck starts to rise where, you know, there's a lot of Nicol Boluses, for instance, we're going to want more Mizium Mortars than Magma Sprays. But for now, without knowing the specific design of a metagame of Pioneer right now, I love the split and just being able to be very flexible. All right, and then 2 Saheeli's, Control matchups, whenever you want to pivot and you... Or like ley lines, when they're trying to stop your graveyard side, you pivot and you go towards the go wide strategy. And it worked really well for us round 2. It's worked great for me in different matchups as well. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for Droppin Bombs this week. I hope you had a good Christmas yesterday. I know I did. And yeah, we'll be back next week for more Pioneer Droppin Bombs action. We'll see you there in the new year. Bye-bye.